Hey friendships, how's it going? So we are back. We are doing this look today. We've got lots of highlighter on. We've got a little sunset moment on our eyes. A little bit of lashes. Nothing too crazy on the lashes today, just so we can see all the work that we've done. And yeah, I got my hair with a cute little, I call this a little lasso apso hairstyle because that's, you know, what people do on their dogs. And they give them that little tuft. I think it's quite cute. Used to hate it, but then I did it on myself and I was like, oh, actually, it's really, really cute. So yeah, this is the look we're going to be doing today. Again, bright eyes, a nice little nude lip as well. So if you'd like to learn how to do this, just keep on watching. Right, so we are primed and ready to go. The first colour we are going to do today is a yellow. So we're just going to take a fluffy brush. Unfortunately, I'm using a few different palettes today. So I'm going to be using the Jawbreaker palette, the Bloodlust palette, and a Melt Cosmetics palette as well that I've got. I'll quickly, most people will know what the Jeffree Star ones look like, but I'm using the Melt Cosmetics, oh, here we go. The Melt Cosmetics, the Radioactive palette. It's like a little rainbow number there. So I'm actually going to be using maybe like one colour out of there just because I wanted a really bright pink. So we're going to go in with the yellow from the Jeffree Star palette, which is called Wow. So I'll pop this here, right. So we're going to go quite big with everything today because we're going to be doing a cut crease later. So you're just going to pat your yellow on initially. And once you've got the level of pigment that you want, we're just going to gently go in and buff our edges out. I will be taking a kind of white as well to the edges, again, just to help us blend everything out. And I'm going to bring it quite far out on the outside corner here, because again, I want to go quite big today. It's like one hair. Here we go. This one hair is tickling my eye. There we are. I'm just going to grab a nice little flat brush. Looks like beforehand, and I'm just using a white. This is actually Your Majesty from the Bloodlust palette. I'm just going to use that just to pat on that edge there. There we go, again just to help us with our blend. Right, so now we're going to go in with a orange. So I'm going to use, what's this one called? I'm going to use Suck from the Jawbreaker palette. So each time that we apply a colour, we're just going to move slightly further in and not blend out as far. Right, so once you're happy with your orange, that's kind of what you should be left with. And now we're going to go in with the pink from the Radioactive palette, which is actually called Radioactive. I'm just going to bring that a little bit closer to me. So we're going to go in with a slightly smaller brush again. I find when I'm doing a cut crease, it's just kind of a case of like building up your colours. So when you are obviously your darker shade, you want that to be kind of around where you're going to cut your crease. So it's just, like I say, just a case of kind of building them up. Kind of building up the intensity, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. Like I said, we're just going to dip into that. But I mean, look at the colour on it. It's so beautiful. So I just wanted to say as well, whenever I mention whatever colour I'm using, you don't have to use that specific shade. You could just use something that's similar to it. So like the pink out of the Radioactive palette, there are other palettes that have pinks in them. You don't have to. I have a bad habit of, dipping into different palettes just because I want a very specific colour, but if you say you only have one of these palettes, you can still make it work with just the one of them. You just need to do little tweaks kind of here and there. I think for this look in particular, the Jawbreaker palette, you could probably do it just using the Jawbreaker palette, but I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I have a few different palettes to choose from. So like I say, you don't feel like you need to have these specific palettes to be able to do this kind of eye, is all I wanted to say. Right, so now we're going to go in with a purple. I think we'll use Blood Queen from the Bloodlust palette. I'm just going to grab a slightly smaller blending brush for this because I want to be a little bit more kind of particular where I put it. So that's us put in Blood Queen. I think I'm also going to go in with the purple from the Radioactive palette, which is Hazmat, which is that one just there. It's got a really, really nice kind of reflect through it, almost like a kind of bluey sort of shade. See if you're just doing a purple by itself, if you use that, spray your brush and use it, oh my god, it looks so, so nice. It's a very dark purple, but it's beautiful. Right, so I've just done a little bit of kind of toing and froing with colours just to kind of build up. So now what we're going to do is cut our crease. So we're going to use Blank Canvas from Plouise. It's from the Acid Rain collection. And I'm actually going to use one of her brushes as well, which is also from the Acid Rain collection. It comes in like a set of 3. I think it was this one, a small angled brush, and like a really tiny little liner brush. This one's really nice because it's got a really nice kind of rounded shape. Like that. Which is really good for, you know, getting a nice sort of cut crease shape. It's good to use a brush that is already round because you can kind of use the shape to your advantage. So if you use something that's like a straight edge, it might make it a little bit more difficult. I'm not saying it definitely will, but it might make it a bit more difficult. So you want to go above where the natural, in my opinion, you should go above where the natural crease is in your eye. So it's going to be difficult to kind of show. Kind of let your face relax, going from your inside corner. Just gently map out your sort of initial Right, let me just go and fill this in and I will be back in a second. Right, so we're back with the shape that we're going to do. So once I get to this point, I kind of gently pat out this edge here just to kind of blend into like our very outer colour. Just a little bit. Take any excess off kind of on the back of your hand or tissue or whatever you want. And like I say, just gently pat it out. Just so we don't have a harsh like line there, just because it'll make things a little bit more tricky to blend later on. There we go. That should be kind of the thing what you're working with. And the amazing thing with using the blank canvas instead of the regular Plouise base is that it doesn't mix with the colours underneath it, so you get a really good kind of, well, a blank canvas to work on top of. So now we are going to set our little cut crease with, what did I decide I was going to use? I think Take the Crown. It's like a purple lilac shimmer sort of shade. Right. You just want to pat that over the top. You should be left with something that looks kind of like that. You can't really see that it's purple, which is kind of weird. It's a little unusual, but oh well. Right, and we're going to use that darkest purple from the Radioactive palette again to blend these two together. And you should be left with something like that. What we're also going to do is press a pigment over the top of this just to add an extra little pizzazz. So I'm going to be using the Mermaze pigment from Peaches and Cream, I think there, which was given to me by my lovely friend Dave. I'd never tried them before, so she bought me them as a birthday present because it was my birthday recently. So I'm very thankful that I finally get to try them out, because I've wanted to try them for ages, and I don't know why I never purchased any of them. So I've just taken a little bit of the pigment drops, put that on top of just a little plastic surface. I'm going to dip into the pigment drops, then dip into the pigment, and then we're just going to pat it on over the top. Right. Ooh. You probably can't see it, but it is very pretty. It has like a blue reflect through it. So nice. That is living out my mermaid dreams, I must admit. Right, so we're at this point. Don't worry about any of this business down here. That's all coming off. So what I will do is I'm going to go away, do my other eye, do my little eyebrows. I might do my lips as well. And we'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do on the underneath of the eyes. It's not going to be anything too crazy. I'm probably just going to use maybe a little bit of purples and stuff underneath. But when we come back, like I say, the rest of my face on, brows, probably a lip, and bronzer, and I might show you what highlighter I use because it's going to be something a bit different. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, so we are back and we have our lashes on, we have our face on. So I'm just going to quickly show you the highlighter we're going to use today, which I should have looked out, but I did not for some reason. So we are going to use the Gerard Cosmetics Star Powder in Grace, but we're going to top it with a couple of different things. So I'm just going to take, this is actually a Peaches and Cream brush that I'm assuming is a highlighter brush. I don't know, but I'm going to use it as a highlighter brush. And we're just going to put a little bit of that on. It's quite a natural looking highlighter. You're probably not going to be able to see it. Right. So now we're going to use, this is a really old little eyeshadow duo that I have from when I used to work at Kiko. And you can see which colour we're going to use. We're going to use this little one here. So it looks white in the pan, but it's actually got like a blue kind of holographic reflect to it. So we're just going to grab a little bit of that. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm not sure if you will, but you can kind of see where it's kind of building up. But it's got this really beautiful blue reflect to it. And there were two of these that came out. There was this blue one and there was a pink one as well. And the pink one is so nice. You're not able to buy these anymore. By the way, we're going to go wild with highlighter today. You're not able to buy those anymore, but the blue does come in one of the face and eye palettes. I'm not sure which one it is, but you can still get the holographic blue. It's not as good, but it's still pretty nice. So yeah, that's us. I love doing a little bit. I started doing it on my forehead here. It's not a place that I used to highlight, but I think it looks kind of cute. I think it's watching Mitchell on Instagram. He highlights so much on his face and like does this little bridge bit. I did used to do that when I was wearing like a proper this sort of full glam every day, but it's so nice. Oh, love it. So we are gonna do, oh no, that was the other thing I was gonna do. I'm also gonna put something else at the top. I'm gonna put the pigment, the Mermaze pigment, let's do 2 drops, that we put on the eyes. I'm going to put that just in a tiny little section on my face as well. So I'm just taking a little flat brush, dipping into the pigment drops, grabbing a tiny bit of the pigment, and then we're just going to pat it just here. Again, I'm not 1000% sure you can see it, but oh, it looks so nice. You maybe just need to take my word for it. I love doing that. Again, that's kind of like a Mitchell thing, is doing like a really concentrated section of highlighter. I'm also going to put a tiny touch of this just under the brow bone. A tiny little bit. I say a tiny bit and it's turned into a lot more than a tiny bit, but well. As is life. Oh, again, I'm not sure if you can really see it, but these pigments, I 1000% recommend getting these pigments. They're absolutely beautiful. My lovely friend Dave bought me 4 of them. She got me Mermaze, Gatsby, Disco Ball, and a little blue one. What was she called? Sapphire. So it's just this really, really pretty, like, dark blue. But they're so, so good. And then you get your drops as well. It'll just help it stick a lot better. So we're going to do underneath of the eyes. Just clean up. What I'll do is I'll link down below everything that I used today. All the palettes, everything I used on my face. So that you know, rather than me going through everything and making this video a million hours long. So I think what we're going to do is do just that hazmat purple, that dark purple that we used, and maybe a little bit of uranium, which is the colour next to it, to kind of blend it out. The thing with this though is you kind of need to spray it with setting spray, since it is, you know, we're working underneath the eyes now, so we don't want anything to go awry. Something else I should have said as well for doing the cut crease, I'm kind of a crazy person when it comes to cut creases, so I will take, if you find that you're not getting that definition on the edge, you know, maybe you're just trying to use concealer, maybe you're just, you know, maybe you're not using exactly the same product, grab a tiny little brush, and what I do is go around the very, very edge with my deepest colour, almost like you're kind of outlining it. And it will make you feel like a crazy person when you're doing it, but I think it makes a big difference. To me personally, like, I feel like after I've done it, I notice a difference. Oh, another thing I just realised I did, I put a little gem on the inside corner of my eye there, rather than doing, you know, like a sparkle on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up our brush. I'm just taking a small brush with that hazmat colour, and then we're going to spray it with some setting spray. Let that dry for just a second, and then we're going to kind of almost pat it on rather than swiping back and forth, because then we might end up with a bit of fallout. So we're just going to gently pat that on underneath our eye. Just like that. A little bit has gone like actually in my eyeball, which is slightly unsettling, but you know, needs must. Something I also did as well when I had finished, when I switched the camera off, I took a makeup wipe, just cleaned up that edge to make it like a straight edge. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can leave it kind of soft and blended like into the rest of your foundation. But I just thought it looked kind of cool having that like at the side. You can also use that as like a template for your eyeliner as well. You know, if you're not 1000% sure if you're going to get your angle right, you can kind of use a makeup wipe to wipe it first, and you know you've got a straight line to follow. Okay, so we've got the purple on underneath like that. Again, it just kind of adds a bit of definition to your eyes as well. I think I'm going to do a tiny touch of the pink. Again, because the pink has quite a lot of fallout, I'm a little bit scared about doing this, so I might use... Nah, we're just going to risk it. We're going to risk it for the biscuit. Let's do a tiny little bit of that. So what I'm also going to do now is go in with a purple eyeliner just to line the waterline. Any kind of dark purple will do. This one is the Kiko Intense colour in number 13. Right, that's us. So I'm just going to quickly go put some mascara on my bottom lashes, and I will be back in a second. Right, we're back. So we are going to do a lip today, obviously. We're just going to do something, we're just going to do a nude, I think. I'm going to do Mannequin by Jeffree Star, just since we've got a lot of colour going on the eyeballs. So we'll do just a nude. So that is the finished look. We have our highlight going on there, we've got our little sunset moment on the eyes. I love it. I love this kind of colour combination. I love it. It's one of my favourites to do on the eyes, to be honest with you. I love pink. Pink is a really nice colour. It's a colour like not loads and loads of people use on their eyes. It's just, oh, it's great. So that's us finished. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, follow me on all of my social media, which I will link down below for you. And yeah, comment if you'd like to see anything else in particular, and just let me know what you would like. Okay, we'll see you guys soon. Bye.